They bought back a lot of stock last year, and they said they would, and they changed the rules about what they said they were going to do. At first, they were looking at it as a multiple of book value to determine whether or not to buy back stock. But I just think at a certain point, you run out of ideas or things that you're willing to do outside of it, and you do more. So I'd be curious to hear if any questions come up or if there are any statements they want to make about their plans to continue to do buybacks, because they still have a lot of cash. The other thing, and this may be somewhat controversial, and a lot of people won't talk about this publicly, a lot of money managers, I think there is like I think there is a growing feeling that the old man better not succumb to all this ESG nonsense. And what I mean, but not that ESG itself is nonsense, but there are now shareholder proposals that have nothing to do with making money, that are like these governance things, these social things. And it's not that they shouldn't be taken seriously. It's that a lot of this stuff could end up being really counterproductive and against the true Berkshire way that got them this far and that created all this wealth around the globe. And so we really want to hear, I think, that they're not going to succumb and start breaking down and doing these things. Clean energy is a good example. This is a company that's spending more money and more time and energy on clean energy solutions than any other utility you could find probably in the world, but definitely in America. They're spending $4 billion on wind power in Iowa. Nobody else is doing that. We don't want to have a situation where they have to start doing company-level reporting. It's a ton of paperwork, a ton of aggravation, and you're never going to be green enough to make everybody happy. They have hundreds of individual companies under the Berkshire umbrella and very few central employees in the home office. So we don't want to hear that they're going to start doing all of this reporting and documentation. I very strongly believe let this company make people money. People can spend that money how they want. Buffett's already given $40 billion to charity, and he's still alive. Like, let's encourage more of that and less of the bureaucracy.
You say we because you're a shareholder in B.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and I don't listen. Yeah, I don't want them to materially change the decentralized governance strategy. Greg Abel is, I think he's 59 years old or something like that. Ajit Jain is 70. It's a very strong team that's ready and willing to continue their roles when Warren and Charlie either decide to hang it up or something else. And I think there's a lot of confidence among the shareholder base. They've done this transition very deliberately, so I'm happy about that. But the soul of Berkshire, the culture, trusting management of all these smaller companies, and relying on the fact that you're going to have shareholders who are smart enough to let this company operate the way it has. That's the thing that, if you're worried about the culture and the longevity of Berkshire beyond Warren and Charlie, that's the reassurance that you're going to want this weekend. And I'm hoping that we get it.